All right, we're here with Toddy B, a good friend of mine, a somewhat of a real estate influencer and successful real estate agent in Austin, and we're going to get to the nitty gritty of today's market. Before we begin, check out the links in the description section. Follow my Instagram, and you'll get sneak peeks of some of the content that's coming out. So, all right, Toddy, we're here.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah. So, we had you as a panelist at the RealtyHack Summit.
Thank you.
Yeah, great information, and I think your testimonial of it was like super flowing. It was great.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
it was from the heart, my friend. It was a great event.
Yeah, you liked it?
Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Like I said on the testimonial, just getting all the agents in the room, and just dropping knowledge bombs, and all the speakers you had. It was just so many takeaways.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm there every year now just from it, and I had the pleasure of speaking on the panel.
Yeah.
So thank you for that as well. Which I thought was great too. The speakers were all great. It was a great afternoon.
Yeah. So we did a little bit different than last year. Last year we had 2 keynote speakers and then panels of realtors. And this year I wanted it more strategic. I wanted we had the super fans, Brittany Hodak, which by the way, all these videos are going to be sent in our email newsletter, segmented. And then I wanted to say, okay, what are the issues you have today, right? So we've got the commission debate, which is a big deal. The city zoning thing, which was interesting because, dude, nobody knew all that's going on.
The jaws were on the floor the whole time those guys were talking. So the information there was priceless and perfect timing.
Yeah, right. So, okay, we were talking a little bit before. I told you to stop. So, you go by Toddy B. Tell us the story of that.
All right, man. So, my mom, since I remember, was calling me Toddy.
Yeah.
I've got all the nicknames, right? And then I was a soccer player growing up and had foreign coaches, and the Toddy kind of stuck. And through high school, Toddy. Then I got into music after college, DJing on the local Austin scene. And once I started that, they were like, well, what do you want us to put on the flyer? Well, everybody calls me Toddy B, so let's put Toddy B on there. So it just honestly was a nickname that stuck.
Yeah.
And where we kind of started with the story was when I got into real estate. This is year 11 now. So I was trying to change that persona because mainly on social media, because I was Toddy B, this big personality and music person, right?
Yeah.
And I had to switch gears into real estate, clean up the Facebook page, clean up the social media. And then I started to say Facebook page as Todd Burgener.
Yeah.
So as I was meeting new people and transitioning out of music into real estate, it was almost like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing where daytime I was Todd.
Yeah.
Nighttime I was Toddy.
Yeah.
I had those crossover friends. Throughout real estate, it's almost like when I meet people and I say Todd and I introduce myself as Todd, they're like, oh, hi, Todd. And then somebody else say, that's Toddy B. And then they're like, oh, Toddy B. So I was like, I'm just going to embrace this Toddy B thing. But honestly, I think within the real estate community, what really made me embrace the nickname was our great friend Amber over at PT50.
Yeah.
Over the years, she started announcing my name on stage as Todd Burgener, and then the last 5 years, she's been announcing me as Toddy B.
Yeah.
So now I'm getting to be more known as Toddy B again, and like you had just said, how do I pronounce your last name? I said, I just go with Toddy B.
Yeah.
It's a nickname. I struggled with it just because if you're introducing yourself to a luxury client, and you come off with this hokey Toddy B nickname, they're going to be like, "What? Who is this guy?"
Yeah.
So that's really was.
Yeah, but
it was the image, and I want them to take me seriously.
And you still can do that and have your social media.
Thank you.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. So when you were moving into real estate and you were going from your Instagram, this is something I get questions about all the time, and I've got my own opinions of it. Sure. But I see agents that okay, I want to start a new we have an agent here that's a DJ, and she's got a decent following, and we got a couple that are DJs, right? And they're like, okay, I'm going to start a new one. Did you start a new one, or did you keep the old one?
I kept the old one.
That's exactly what I did.
And I didn't create a business page.
Yeah.
I think I created it for formality, so if people Googled me, that was 11, 12 years ago. So when they Googled me, they would see Todd Burgener, Realtor.
Yeah.
But I never had, I had the Toddy, Facebook wouldn't let me have Toddy B as a personal page. It made you have to have a first and last name.
Yeah.
So it was always Toddy Burgener.
Yeah.
And then I changed it to Todd. But to answer your question, I definitely kept the same one because I had the base. I didn't want to start over, and I can't imagine doing that now. And then once Instagram came out, it was just right into that. So and I know there's groups and teams out there. A lot of friends that we know that have their individual and then their team. I can't imagine doing all that work twice.
Right.
I mean, you're hiring somebody at that point. I feel like if you want it to be effective,
sure,
you've got to have a social media director that does that. Not everybody has the time or money or resources to do that.
Right.
I manage all my own stuff, which I get stuff for it all the time because it's such a time-consuming thing.
It is.
I.e. my wife, and time and being present at home. It's constant. So, but I've learned how to do it really well, really efficiently.
Yeah.
And I think I do just enough to get the job done. Like, it could always be better.
Sure. It always,
All of our Facebook and social media accounts could be better. Like, you have the YouTube thing going on. The last couple of years, I've started my YouTube channel, and that's not easy to build, as you know, man.
Yeah.
You get one good viral video, and it'll explode. But if you're just like me, where I'm just like posting little how-tos and cool stuff about houses and stuff, really real estate geared.
Yeah.
There's no reason for people to really go to my page and get all this information.
Yeah.
It's just fun stuff.
Yeah. What's interesting though about Instagram is that like about a couple of years ago, I would post a reel and then like every now and then, not that much, but every now and then I get 7,000 to 10,000 views on it.
That's a lot.
Yeah, well, I haven't got.
Where are all those people at?
But I haven't got them now, and
Okay, gotcha.
it's like it would be like I don't know, every 20 videos, and like we were in France in summer of 22, and there was like this, I don't know, I was just like I did a video, and like literally within seconds, it was like 10,000. Just caught on, and then I've had a couple real estate ones do it too, but like now I'm like
I think collaborating.
Yeah.
Now you can collab with up to 5 people. So that means 5 people's feed have it.
Yeah.
That helps.
Yeah, right.
It's all the algorithm, man.
Yeah.
We can bang our head on this table trying to figure that out. But my most viral one that I've had in the whole of social media, it went crazy. It was a video of my 8-year-old and my mom playing a duet of piano.
Yeah.
Nothing real estate.
Right.
I wasn't even in it.
Yeah.
And it's millions. It was like 10x of anything. Oh, it took off.
Yeah.
And then I put it on TikTok, which I'm not active at all.
Me neither.
Just kind of a placeholder that I have an account.
Me too.
Took off on TikTok.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's the algorithm.
Yeah. Which is hard to figure out.
Some videos you think are going to go.
Yeah.
And they don't.
Yeah. And what I recommend to agents, which I don't do myself hardly at all, but like is and I don't know why, but like with Instagram, I do, what a recommendation is, let's do 4, I don't know, at least like half personal, half business.
Sure.
And my Instagram is like 85% business.
I don't see more of you, right?
I know it's crazy because I used to be more into doing personal stuff, but I mean, really, like so much of my life is business that it is personal.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I think people want to see you though at the same time.
Yeah.
That's why you say that, right? Do the personal, I've always stuck to like these 4 or 5 things, which was like real estate, soccer, because that's what I'm into, music, because that's what I'm into, my kids, and then my wife, and I just kind of rotate those things. Yeah. And I stay away from politics. Stay away from religion. All the hot buttons I don't even get near.
And I stay away from those things not just because it's not good for business, because I fucking hate it.
Yeah, fair enough. If you would talk to me ever in a conversation, if we were out at a bar anywhere, never is that conversation going to come out. I'll walk away.
Me too.
Not a chance.
Yeah,
there's just no. And I know just enough to be dangerous, and maybe if I was stuck at a table, have a conversation about it. But I'm not getting in the weeds.
No, and
I'm not trying to solve our government's problems.
No,
I'm not trying to belittle anybody's relationships and races and religions or anything like that, or even hear it.
Right.
It's just negative.
So let's talk about your journey in real estate.
Yeah.
So I remember. Well, before that, you had a decent name for yourself in the DJ world, right?
I did, and I had a great time doing it. I was in my 20s and early 30s.
Yeah.
I was in insurance business by day and single and just playing music, DJing on the weekends, man. And that was my life.
And didn't some of the, like, I take from follow your social media, but some of the people that you had shows with or whatever have gone on to have like great careers now, right?
Absolutely.
Who are they?
D-Fuse, a guy named Dustin, who's a great friend of mine. He took off and did big things in music, still does.
Yeah.
Joey Youngman is a guy who came from LA, then moved to Austin. He's still doing it as well.
Yeah.
I mean, there's loads of people that I've been in and out. There's some guys right now that I'd say they're top of their game. They go by Tritonal, Dave and Chad Reed.
Yeah.
They started out almost 15 years ago now. We were all club kids together, basically.
Yeah.
And then Chad took the music seriously and got into the production side of things.
Uh-huh.
And they're still doing it. And they play festivals and 80,000 people crowds. I mean, they're still doing it.
Yeah.
And they've now formed different brands and labels. And so they're not just out there doing music.
Yeah.
They're running the labels. They're getting older. They have children now. These guys that are touring DJs, it's just a rough lifestyle. You're in hotels and airports 6 days out of the week.
Yeah.
When you have kids, that all changes. I knew for me that DJing was never the end all be all.
Yeah.
It was just fun at the time. People were coming. Like I said, I started in music in college and got out of it and just kind of stuck with it. But, once I turned 30, I had that, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Moment.
And so you were selling insurance by day? Like what kind of insurance?
I worked for a company that did a maternity program. So we kind of helped out mothers that fell in between the gap insurance that didn't have insurance. And we just helped them out. They were cash pay patients. We would negotiate their bills. We ended up being bought out by a company, Blue Cross Blue Shield bought us out. They offered us all jobs in Dallas.
Yeah.
I went up there for about 6 weeks. I had just met Kim, my now wife. And I didn't like being on the road. I wanted to be with my new main squeeze,
Yeah.
And so I was like 32 at this time. And, she was a mortgage lender before that. She had gotten out of it in 2008. She kind of felt that squeeze after being into it for a handful of years. And I think she was just kind of over it once it happened. She got into finance. But she and Ben Baronet is a local realtor here, best friend of mine. He was in real estate. I had a bunch of Keenan Beck, who's a great friend of ours. He was in real estate. I had all these friends that were in real estate, and they were doing great. And my wife was like, you should get in real estate.
Yeah.
You got it. She knew the follow-up. She knew the characteristics. She knew the hustle. She knew what it take to do that, and I had it. And so she was my biggest fan, and I was like, man, I've had a paycheck in my bank account every Friday for the last 20 years. Do I want to go to 100% commission?
Yeah.
And she's, took all of it on her back, and I was still doing music the first couple years. I think I sold 3 houses my first year. That was 2012, so we were kind of out of the recession, if you will.
Yeah.
And things were starting to pick up. That was 2011, 2012. And then the next year I sold 6, and then it just doubled and snowballed. And last year we did 50 million. So we've come up to,
wow.
I know, in a down market, if you will, down market.
Yeah.
We're right under 50. So that's a lot for us.
So where did that's great. Where did you start?
I started with Jim and Crystal.
Oh, okay, that's where you started.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I take that back. I started with Ben Baronet. He put me under his wing for a year, and then we just remained best friends, but it was time to grow. I was with Crystal and Jim for 5 years, and the same thing, time to grow from there. And then I fell into, Paul Smith was a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
And so we were in the bar business back then. He was bartending before 12 Rivers. So I would DJ, he was bartending. So we always had a relationship. And I went over there finally and did that. And I'm over at Douglas Elliman right now. I love it. They've got great tools. They've got a lot of the things that I didn't have.
Yeah.
We've moved into a more of a luxury space.
Yeah.
I've learned that sometimes that helps to be in that luxury space, having the big brand behind you. But life is long, Ryan, So this career is going to be a long time for me. So who knows where I'll be. I get asked all the time. Somebody was talking to me this morning, would you start your own thing? When are you going to start your own thing? And I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm a lone wolf. Never had a team.
Right.
My wife does all the operations behind the scenes, and I get to, do this.
Well, and I can tell you from a standpoint where we're at is like, the only way to combat those companies is to scale. And that's where we're at. We're actually about to start a luxury division of Spyglass.
Nice. I mean, it's been amazing to watch you. I've watched you from when you started this puppy. I mean, you and Crystal and Jim were all cahoots back then, even, you know. So I've seen you take this thing from 30 agents to
7 in 2015.
So 150 plus now.
About close to 150. Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
That's amazing. Proud of you.
So okay, let's talk about your. So first of all, your follow up, and I can say this is amazing because every time when my birthday comes, I get a text. And so how are you doing that?
Okay, man, I get this one every year too, for sure. Well, I'll tell you this. I wish there was a system for it. I wish there was an automated thing, but I got to tell you, man, it's all from my heart. So I love birthdays. I love celebrating mine. I love celebrating other people. Back in the music days, back when Facebook showed everybody your birthdays, I would take 20 seconds, 2 minutes out of my day, and I would text everybody that I had in my phone. And then I realized I didn't have everybody's phone, so I would just go to their Facebook page and send them a message. I've got Facebook threads for 10 plus years of every year I've nailed people's birthday. They're blown away. They're like, what system are you using? How do we do this? And I'm like, no.
So, but do you put them in a calendar or you just go off Facebook?
It's in my brain, bro. It's so crazy because I'll forget my wallet. I'll forget my keys.
Me too.
I'll forget to, the dumbest shit in the world. I'll forget to go do something.
I have an AirTag on my ass, so.
See, I should do that.
Yeah.
That's a great call, actually. I'm stealing that one. But I never miss those birthdays, man. I don't know if I could be at a red light.
Well, and it's nice. It's a much better touch to send a text than like put on a wall or whatever. You know?
I wish I had the time to do videos.
Keenan
Beck sent me a video this year, and I was like, "Oh, man,
that's cool." Yeah,
it's great. I loved it. It was heartfelt. I put it on my Instagram. I was like, "Oh, this is great." But with 5,000 Facebook friends, thank God it doesn't get any bigger, and Facebook caps you, but. That's a lot of fire, and I copy and paste it.
Sure.
Of course, I don't sit there and hand But every 6 months to a year, I'll change the message. It's different every year. It's also, I think, if you go the extra mile. So, like, if somebody goes to your wall and puts happy birthday, I'm never going to see that.
Right.
If I get a text message that says happy birthday, 2 sentences of why I love you. Happy birthday. Aw. Thank you. And I do that. So I think that resonates with people, and I think it's just another way to stay top of mind, which in this business.
Absolutely. So are you doing that with and by the way, I appreciate that because you do it with not just your clients, but so you're doing that with clients obviously too, right?
We part of our, as you know, part of our takedown of information once we close is a part of our post close. They're on a drip with that, but it's not just a postcard.
So you probably started off with like internet leads, right?
I've been here all my life, Ryan. So I avoided the internet leads. Actually, Crystal and Jim had bought AustinRealEstate.com right when I started with them. And I started with some leads there, and I realized the time that I was spending on those leads wasn't as well spent dollar per hour as working my sphere of influence.
Well, if you have, and this, look, we provide leads. About half of our company is on them,
and it works for a lot of people.
But we tell. I mean, like, we're very upfront. If you join our firm, we look. We make money on internet leads, right? We have a higher split.
Which you should. You're paying on it.
But our goal is to get the agents off of them.
Okay.
So we teach them the lots of training on follow up and gift giving and appreciation and all that. So do you stay organized in like a CRM at all?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
I think you have to. I think any agent, regardless of production, get over the Google spreadsheet. Use the CRM. I've been preaching that. As long as I've had one. I started with Follow Up Boss, bounced over to RealVolve. Not going to knock them, but switch back over to Follow Up Boss now, which is, as you know,
we've been with them 10 years.
User friendly, easy. There's no reason why any agent shouldn't be using it. And that is like, it makes it too easy for you. So I'm prompted every day. Who do I need to follow up with? Who's on what campaigns? All the templates, all the things are there. All the follow-ups.
So one thing is
pre-close, post-close.
One thing that's very interesting is like what we've noticed is the
workflows. That's the word I was using. Sorry.
The agents that start on our company leads and then move over and like they're not taking company leads. They're going completely sphere of influence. They have the best habits, right? And then, so like if we get a veteran agent that comes over, like we don't require them to do anything, right? But that's what's been our kind of our mantra. But nowadays we're strongly, very strongly suggesting that they go through our leads onboarding, not so they can take leads, because the habits that you learn from taking leads, which is basically using the CRM to its fullest capacity, is going to help you with your business with following up. Because a lot of agents will just they'll put stuff in their CRM, and then they don't really use the dialer, they don't use the text messages, or the notes aren't there. And so that's been a really big help, is just training people. And it's really hard because agents, especially agents that haven't taken leads, especially agents that haven't develop those habits for CRM, they don't really realize how much they need it.
Sure, it's putting reps in too.
Yeah.
That's those cold calls and banging on those doors. It's humbling, and you got to check your ego at the door. I had a conversation with a guy yesterday who just moved here. He's been in sales management side. He was an agent in Kansas City. He comes here with no sphere and no knowledge.
Yeah.
And I was like, you need to find a team that has leads. I'm probably going to send them your way.
Cool.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I said, it's good though, like you're talking about though, it's good though to relearn those habits too.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit of an ego check,
Yeah.
But at the same time, something's better than nothing. So you're going to pay the brokerage, whatever the split is there. But again, if you want to get into a new city and break into a new market, and like you said, you train them on how to nurture those clients, and then you close that one person, and you do a great job, and you follow up with them as you should.
Yeah.
They're going to refer you people for life.
So what's your cadence for like getting clients? So do you, when you meet someone, do you have do you just always put them in your CRM or what?
Absolutely. If I get a business card, I'm old school. I still carry cards. I give my card out. If somebody doesn't have my card though, I'll always get their number.
Yeah.
I'll follow up with a text. I'll put them in the CRM, even if it's just their number.
Yeah.
I'll totally put the notes of where I met them, how I met them. There's so many people on my phone. John, brown hair, met him at Corner Bar at this party or something. However, I will remember them.
Yeah.
Because if you put John, I'm not going to remember John.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who's John? What did you talk about? Because you know how it is when we go out. We have conversations about real estate all the time.
Yeah. So what we did, and I don't know I think it's some other keys, but we have like a fob like this. Okay.
I see these are getting popular.
Okay. So
Yeah.
so these are a little different, right?
Okay.
We actually make these in house.
Oh,
okay.
cool.
This is a key to my vacation rental, but it looks just like it. It's got a Spyglass thing on it,
Okay.
and so it does NFC.
Okay.
That will go into Follow Up Boss. Like, especially if I'm at a conference or whatever, and we have a different design for different agents. But like, if I go to a conference and I'm meeting agents and from different areas, it'll open up a page where they can put in their information. It goes into Follow Up Boss, subscribes them to my newsletter,
Automatically.
and then sends them a text and an email with my information on it.
Easy.
So with our agents, we have a plastic card we give them and a fob.
Okay.
So that because it's more important, like you say, it's more important for you to get their information than vice versa.
Sure, because you're not going to wait on that call.
Right.
They're never going to call.
Yeah. And then
You gotta remind them.
and even the ones that you put like where they've got the whatever this QR code that goes into your phone with like 10,000 other contacts. You can't even find those.
You're not going to remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, I always save it by a keyword of somehow I'll remember.
Yeah.
I need to get onto that though, and I see a lot of people. They've become more of a thing. I feel like
Yeah.
as technology's grown. I've always considered myself a little more old school.
Yeah.
Hand-to-hand combat, if you will.
Sure.
But if somebody gives me a card, I've still got stacks of cards, and
Yeah.
if I get home, a couple days goes by or weeks, and I'll have a small stack. They'll go into the CRM. I'll follow up.
Yeah.
Pretty quickly, not weeks, but days. Yeah.
So what's the makeup of your team right now?
It's me and Kim right
Yeah.
now. So we, like I said, I've just been a lone wolf, man. I've been okay with that.
Yeah.
During COVID, we added on a couple buyers agents, listing agents when things slowed down. They were already self-sufficient agents. They just kind of had the time to come help me.
Yeah.
And then they kind of went back to their biz when things kind of slowed down last year.
Yeah.
which was an opportunity to kind of clean things up again. We had
Yeah.
been head down for 10 years just trying to tread water, right here.
Yeah.
And so once, the tide turned a little bit, we were able to kind of clean up the website, get the database back in order. We prepared for the move. The move happened. And, Kim is everything I'm not. So we're a great team.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
operations to the T.
Yeah, yeah.
And so she makes my life so easy. So
Yeah.
I didn't have to go through assistants. I don't have to go through operations people. I mean, you've got a lifer and Sunny, she's
Yeah.
doing other things now, but I have that.
Yeah, right.
And she is so good. So she runs my calendar. She sets appointments. Once she does the contract to close, she does the lead gen. She's a genius in marketing. So
Yeah.
she's constantly, I saw this thing. Check this out.
Yeah.
So we're just a cohesive team, and we're life partners, and we're raising these kids.
Yeah, yeah.
So our life is real estate. We talk
Yeah.
about it all the time. It never turns off in my house.
Right.
Which some people might say, I can deal with that, but we enjoy it, and that's just our lives.
Yeah,
You
and,
know?
and you recently got into more not recently, but the last few years, but more into like higher end luxury property.
We did.
Yeah.
We I think, I was banging my head on the desk how to up the price point.
Yeah.
That's what everybody wants to do. And I get asked all the time, how do you do it? And there's many people that tell you different things.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I started selling slowly but surely more, and then I just got into some circle of friends that had more money.
Yeah.
They were also people that had bought that $500,000 house 10 years
Sure.
ago and moved up.
Yeah.
So then you got those, and
Yeah.
then you meet the neighbors and their friends. And so it kind of organically happened. For me, a big one was I found a couple builder partners.
Yeah.
One being the McCarley guys,
Yeah.
McCarley's Construction. And they were building in 04 in your neighborhood. $1.5 million to $4 million is kind of our range in 78704.
Yeah.
And I've got to do some really great real estate transactions and do some really cool projects and be on the ground from start to finish on a lot of those.
Yeah.
We bought 20 lots during COVID in the premium.
Yep.
Those are all turning now. Unfortunately, they're taking a little hit on those.
Yeah.
But agents out there, it's a time for deals.
Oh, man,
man.
yeah.
So we're unfortunately we're cutting deals, 10-20% on a lot of these just to move them.
Right.
Because and so that's a whole nother story. But a lot of those are luxury. All of those are luxury homes. And so once I think some of those builders started seeing what I was doing with social media and started seeing more in the luxury space, I got a few calls from some mom and pops. So we represent probably about 5 to 7 smaller builders.
Yeah.
McCarley's is our main client. They're our number one client. So.
Yeah. So and that it's funny you say that. It's like I was looking in MLS just the other day, and like I saw 2 small houses in Barton Hills. One's like 980, one's 1.1. I mean, isn't that crazy? Like now they could be tear downs. They probably are, but still that would be like 1.4, 1.5 2 years ago.
Absolutely. Multiple offers.
Yeah.
Not even a survey. Who cares?
Yeah.
Buy it.
Yeah, and so
We were there.
Right.
We were those.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did that.
So it was like, you look at like when you look at the decline in value overall, Austin's like 13%, right?
Sure.
But when you get over a certain price point, it's more like 25 to 30. What do you think?
100%. It's
Yeah.
also super hyper local. So
Yeah.
it's situational on the neighborhoods.
Yeah.
04, I think I read last month's stat took a 8% dip from the previous year. But
Yeah.
I mean, that was because
Because we had 37% increase in 1 year.
Yeah, and so that's what I think. That's a huge thing to make sure people understand.
That's right. Look, I mean,
Sure.
if you
There's
didn't,
people that are thinking, "Oh my God, prices in Austin are dipping." Like, no, they're dipping from where they were in the peak of COVID.
That's right.
Which was a 40% increase.
that's
whatever.
right. And you're only in trouble if you bought your home in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay, and you have to sell now.
Yeah, and you have to sell now.
Right.
Yeah.
If you don't have to
Avoid
sell
that.
now,
Yeah.
this is when it comes to the outlook of what's coming up. I don't know. Would you agree? Like I'm predicting this is going to be a much better year than last year.
Agree. Already has been.
It already has been. And it's not going to be like a superstar year, but
I think we had our little taste of the unicorn years.
yeah, we did.
It was nice. It was a perfect storm of low interest rates, no inventory, and
Yeah.
everybody moving here.
Yeah, but if you look at the last 20 years and take out the the COVID years, because those were crazy.
Sure.
I think the average appreciation rate is around 9 to 10% over 20 years,
which is great.
Yeah, and that's at all of Austin.
Yeah.
So what do you think is going to happen this year?
Well, here's my crystal ball.
Yeah.
No, we should know this answer because that's what everybody comes to us as professionals, right? So I wish I had the crystal ball. I'm seeing a shift already. I'm seeing things are picking up. We have a lot of listings right now. We have kind of all scattered out. They're all getting, my Supras going crazy.
Yeah.
My lock boxes are getting popped. I still feel like it has to be the perfect house.
Yeah.
Now that the buyers are out,
yeah,
there's so many options. You got to be perfect. If the craftsmanship isn't perfect, if it doesn't have a 1 versus a 2 car, that could be a deal breaker for a lot of people. Pool versus no pool. I think that they're going to be off the sidelines that they have been the last year and a half, and they're slowly steady. I mean, I saw one close yesterday at 5.75.
Yeah.
And I was no points.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah, that's great.
So if that's going to be 6s, is going to be the new norm?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Well,
time to get back in the game.
Besides from a 10-year period, if you look at the average mortgage rate, by and large, it was over 6%.
Gotcha.
Okay. And, we do a weekly huddle every Tuesday where like the first 15 minutes is like pulse of the market.
Gotcha.
Where we have our agents just go in and say, okay, what are you seeing? And one of our agents, Adrienne, she's amazing, Adrienne Gravens. I don't know if you know her, but she's,
of course.
Yeah. So she had clients that were on the fence, and she was like, well, I got an idea. Why don't I do a video tour? She does a video tour. Property been on the market 115 days. They're like, all right, let's go.
Wow.
But then they get out there. I thought that was great, right?
Yeah.
They're like, I don't know. And she goes to the video tour. But then they get out there to the property, write the offer, goes on the market. There's another one in the complex, been on the market for like 130 days. That one's gone too.
Oh, wow.
So that's what we're seeing, right?
Wow,
we're seeing properties that have been sitting that are actually moving.
Yeah, some of them are getting multiple offers.
Yes.
Or they've dipped just enough to where now it becomes a deal.
Yeah.
And so people are pouncing, because I'm seeing a lot of that too.
One of my agents had got a multiple offer on a property. I'm paraphrasing here, but like 1.6, okay? And he went like 1.7. They had like 7 offers, and it went like 2.3. Wow. And I was like, okay. I was like, so let me ask you this. Was 1.6, is that like super low? They're like, no.
Wow.
So
somebody went big then.
Somebody went big.
I think that was a rarity, but just to see it happen, we haven't heard.
We're super
had
rare.
that conversation.
Yeah.
In a couple of years now.
Right.
It's almost like I was telling another agent last week. I did get multiple offers on one in 4.5 over here.
Yeah.
550, great price point, renovation, 1-story farm ranch style. And I had multiple offers, and I was telling the other agent, sorry, I've got to brush up on my multiple offer skills again, because it kind of like we not forgot about it, but when it was peak of COVID, we were wheeling and dealing and balancing offers and conversations and negotiations, and it was bananas.
Yeah.
And now we've had a little chance to breathe, and now we're getting multiple offers again. So I think that's a great sign of hopefully the rest of the year, to be honest with you.
And that reminds me, I love having these conversations. It reminds me like training opportunities.
Sure, right.
But like we've been during the peak years, we were doing like backup offer training, right?
Just to know exactly,
Yeah, and not just submit the backup, negotiate with the with the listing agent. Say, look, if your people have if you get like a repair amendment that's crazy, okay, come back to me, okay, and I will bless that repair amendment. You can tell them that you're not negotiated, and then we'll be in first place, and we'll go to close.
Yeah.
And
I don't think backups happen as much as they should.
Right. And so
a lot of people are like, just call me if it falls out.
Yeah.
I'm not going to remember.
No.
I'm not going to call 5 agents.
We were heavily training on that in the peak, and we got a lot of backups accepted.
Good. I think that's great.
Yeah.
It's good for your your agent's clients too, because it happens.
Yeah.
Things fall out.
So, what's next for you in the world of real estate and then personally?
Yeah. The world of real estate for me is, I've got the Elite 25 in my sights.
Nice.
I've got Luxury League in my sights.
Yeah.
When I started with a couple mentors, There were a couple were in Elite 25, and I went to that thing, and I was like, one day that'll be me. It was ABJ. Sorry, I was at ABJ, and I was like, one day that'll be me.
Yeah.
And a couple years ago, we got number 23.
Yeah.
And then the next year fell off.
Yeah.
And then the next year got number 21.
Yeah.
And so I've had that goal accomplished, right? So the next move for me is Elite 25.
Yeah.
So my goal is, I'd love to keep doing the luxury space stuff. I am really good at getting right to burnout.
Yeah.
But then pushing through
and
losing it and just being excited about real estate. I'm not as senior as a lot of people in this business like yourself, but I hit burnout every year almost. You know, but I know there's no other option, and I love what I do.
Yeah.
And I'm not interested in anything else. So, goal wise, I got Elite 25 on my sights. I'd love to hit that. It's going to take me a couple more years because they have a pretty hefty criteria of things to hit, but I was right there last year.
Yeah.
So close. I think I was like a deal off.
Yeah, right.
Not that they would pick me, but at least to be in the table.
Sure.
At least to be in the conversation,
Yeah.
right? But I didn't submit because I was one deal off.
Right.
Off of their criteria. So that's huge. Of course, I have all my real estate goals with numbers and all that jazz, but I can see myself doing a little team again. I like that. That was good. I think I would keep it at about 2 or 3 agents if I'm still selling.
Yeah.
Like you had to eventually step away.
Well, and I
can't do it all.
I can tell you what my cadence is for that is that look, when 6 and under team is good. 6 to 10 is pushing it. Okay. And here's why: the mind can't serve 2 masters. Okay. But if you can, and when you're selling a lot of real estate, then you have 2 or 3 people, 4 or whatever, that you can give some of the deals that maybe you wouldn't normally take or whatever. You're leveraging your time, right? When you get over, and this was what happened with me when we had 12 agents and I was still in production, then I wasn't really serving the agents as a leader.
Gotcha.
So when if you get to 10 or more agents, you really need to think about stepping out of production so you can be a better leader.
Is that when you stepped out?
No, I stepped out at 20 agents.
I was gonna say you had a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
I was still selling.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think my last year in real estate, my last big year was 26 million, but and then I was suffering and I literally, but then I was also taking a lot of that commission and putting it back in the company to grow.
Right.
And then actually, not only was I doing that, I sold a duplex that we owned so I could have an extra $150,000 so I wouldn't have to sell. I mean, it was like blood, sweat, and tears getting to 40 agents.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you seem to figure it out.
Yeah. And then it gets easier to scale once you have that income supplemented.
And you built quite a culture over here too,
thank you.
which
I
I think is
appreciate that.
huge. I mean, let's be honest, everybody knows it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So that would be the professional goal. I like you said, I think 6 people team would probably be my number. And I've always kicked around when I 10, 15 years down the road, 10 years maybe when my kids are a little older.
Yeah.
That's when I kind of sit back and chill a little bit. But I still got the drive. I still got the fire.
Yeah.
The phone's still ringing.
Yeah.
I can't imagine passing those off right now. I'm in it. Right.
Yeah.
So, but I can see myself stepping back a little bit, having a team, being able to coach those people because right now I just don't have the time and the capacity to take those phone calls, and I would be a disservice to an agent.
Yeah.
Which is why you finally stepped down and stopped selling. So
Absolutely.
I'm not quite there yet. Personally, goals, I've got a 5 and an 8-year-old, man. You have a little one as well.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to be as present as I can.
Yep.
The sports have started.
Yep.
I'm a soccer player. I'm coaching them both in soccer. Being present is a tough one.
Oh, yeah.
Putting the phone down. Switching gears into dad mode and literally putting the phone down has been just a big thing for me.
Yeah.
And literally hiding my phone from myself sometimes, between that 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock hours.
Yeah.
Where I'm just trying to not text trying to put it away. And then
you get one of those timed lock boxes.
Oh, man, I've tried that. I've tried putting the phone away, and then it's like, well, I want to have the camera because I want to take a cute picture
Yeah,
of it, and then I
yeah.
see it Instagram, and then I'm in the rabbit hole, right?
Yeah.
So I've just learned just to put it away, walk away from it. But you know, we still have goals as a family, places we want to go, places we want to see.
Yeah.
We haven't done a big abroad trip with my kids just because they're young.
Sure.
That's going to be in our future.
Yeah.
Kim and I are celebrating our 10 years of marriage this year.
Congratulations.
We have Hawaii in our sights. So I need to sell a few more houses.
Yeah.
Keep that going. So that'll probably be early next year, honestly.
Yeah.
Just because we're just reshuffling into a new mode right now. And hopefully this year, to answer your other question, by the end of it, we're right back to where we started 2 years ago, pre-COVID.
Yeah.
You know, I don't plan to be back in those unicorn years we talked about.
Yeah.
But even if I was back to 2020 numbers, I'm a happy man.
Yeah.
That I can.
Yeah,
I'm super blessed, right?
Yeah.
And just continue to work the sphere of influence and grow the network and meet new people.
Yep.
I've met a lot of new people in the last couple of years just from new faces and living here all my life. People have come in and out of my life over the years, and some of them have great relationships, and some of them come and go.
Yeah.
You know, so I think I'm a people person.
Me too.
Every person I talk to like they're potentially going to buy a house from me.
Yeah.
You know, and like they could. How can I be a service to you?
Empathy.
How can you be a service to me?
Yeah.
Vice versa. So we've got life is good, man. I'm healthy.
Yeah.
I got a bum knee, but I'm still playing soccer.
Yeah.
That's huge for me.
Yeah.
And you know, we're having fun at the end of the day.
Well, where can people find you?
All over.
Yeah.
Todd B Realty is
Okay.
my handle on Instagram.
Okay.
Todd Burgener is my name. If you Google Todd, Burgener, but at Todd Burgener on YouTube.
Okay.
At Todd B Realty on IG, Twitter, TikTok, and Facebook will probably find me if you put that. So at Todd B Realty.
Yeah.
Todd, 2 Ds, B as in boy, Realty. And I'm always on there. I'm pretty involved in it, like we talked about earlier. It's just a form of our business. Honestly, you got to do it.
Well,
You got to be top of mind.
Yeah.
And it's free.
Yeah. Well, this has been a real pleasure. This is really fluid. I think we should definitely make it a regular thing.
I'm down with that. I appreciate you having me, man. You're actually a mentor of mine in the business, and
Thank you.
I'm very appreciative of you and the things you've done and the house that you've built here, man. So proud of you. Congratulations to you, my man.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate it.
Yeah.